During World War II, soldiers and civilians alike faced some mighty bitter cold with just the bare minimum of resources. Survival, well, it depended not just on your clothing or a fire, but on the clever use of tents and shelters. There was this simple, yet highly effective tent technique that really maximized warmth, a method that's pretty much ignored by most modern campers. This approach is perfect for anyone looking to replicate authentic historical strategies, or, just stay warmer while living off the grid. World War II tent trick for maximum warmth, neglected by today's campers. One of the key principles soldiers learned was that heat dissipates real quick in large open spaces. A tent that's too big, well, it just lets your body heat escape into all that empty air. The most effective tactic was to occupy the smallest shelter that could comfortably hold the person or folks inside. Even in tents made for several soldiers, they'd often section off one corner with canvas or blankets to trap in that precious warmth. You can actually use this today by picking a compact tent or setting up tarps to reduce the inside space. In practical terms, a small bivvy or two-person tent can feel a whole lot warmer if you partition it with a spare blanket or even a foam mat, creating these little micro zones for heat retention. During World War II, soldiers realized that a whole lot of heat is lost through contact with the ground. The standard issue was usually just a canvas ground sheet, but the clever ones, they added extra layers. Blankets, straw, pine boughs, or even newspapers could make a huge difference in cutting down heat transfer. Modern campers, they often just rely on thin foam pads or a sleeping bag, leaving themselves open to the cold that radiates right up from the ground. For a practical application, you can line your tent floor with a thick foam pad, wool blankets, or even dry leaves and pine needles if you're out in the woods, creating a base that keeps your body heat right where it belongs. Now, when it comes to keeping warm in cold weather, one thing folks sometimes overlook is the ground itself. The earth can just suck the heat right out of you if you're not careful. So, layering up underneath your sleeping area is just as important as bundling up on top. Using whatever you've got handy, blankets, pine boughs, or even spare clothing, creates a barrier that helps keep that precious body heat from escaping down into the ground. This little trick can make a world of difference on a chilly night, trust me. Wind penetrating a tent will drop the internal temperature faster than most realize. Back in World War II, soldiers would hang extra canvas sheets or folded blankets inside the tent to create internal windbreaks. These didn't block entrances or exits entirely but slowed airflow across sleeping areas, trapping warm air around bodies. Today, you can replicate this by suspending blankets inside your tent away from the walls or creating a secondary inner layer with a lightweight tarp. Even a simple folded wool blanket hanging near the head and torso area can drastically improve warmth without restricting movement. Soldiers often slept shoulder to shoulder during extreme cold, not just for camaraderie, but because body heat was a primary resource. Even a single person can use this principle by insulating areas prone to heat loss: feet, hands, and head. Wearing a hat inside a sleeping bag or using an extra jacket at your core can make a notable difference. Additionally, placing a warm water bottle near the feet as soldiers improvised with metal canisters or filled bottles concentrates heat where it is most needed. This is not just historical trivia, it's immediately actionable. It might seem counterintuitive, but World War II soldiers knew that completely sealing a canvas tent could lead to moisture buildup, which saps heat faster than the cold itself. A tiny vent at the top or side allowed condensation to escape while retaining warmth at the base where bodies were. Modern tents with advanced fabrics often mislead campers into thinking complete sealing is always ideal. You can improve warmth by keeping a small vent open while insulating the lower sleeping area with blankets or pads, maintaining dry, warm air around you. Orientation mattered. Soldiers frequently pitched tents near natural windbreaks, slopes, or sun-facing sides to maximize passive heat gain and reduce exposure. Trees, large rocks, or even snowdrifts were used strategically. If you're camping today, note prevailing winds and morning sun positions. A tent facing east, with its narrowest side toward the wind, will trap the early morning warmth while minimizing chill during the night. Applying this historical insight can make a standard tent feel far warmer with zero extra gear. One of the most overlooked World War II tactics was compartmentalizing heat inside a tent. Blankets and canvas sheets were arranged to create separate zones: sleeping, sitting, and gear. This approach prevented warm air from escaping to unused areas. You can apply this method today by using spare blankets to partition a small tent into sections. Even creating a simple sleeping cocoon within the tent using folded blankets can increase thermal efficiency. This is not a gimmick. Soldiers relied on it to survive sub-zero nights. When soldiers had small portable stoves, they used them sparingly, focusing heat on specific areas of the tent rather than trying to warm the entire space. A modern application is using a hot water bottle or heat pack strategically. Position them near the feet and core, not just anywhere. A single, well-placed heat source can outperform multiple sources scattered without strategy. So, when we're talking about rotating heat sources, well, we're really looking at a clever way to spread warmth more evenly. Instead of heat just sitting in one spot, this method moves it around, helping to avoid hot and cold patches. It's a simple idea, but it sure makes a difference when you're trying to keep things comfortable, especially in tough conditions. Folks figured out that by getting heat to circulate, everything warms up a whole lot better. All these World War II tent strategies can be seamlessly applied today. A minimalist camper can use the floor layering, internal windbreaks, and tent orientation principles to dramatically improve warmth without relying on expensive gear. Historical reenactors, survivalists, and long-term campers can benefit from compartmentalization and strategic heat placement. The techniques are efficient, historically proven, and honestly, surprisingly effective even in modern lightweight tents. World War II soldiers survived harsh winters with canvas blankets and a whole lot of ingenuity. By studying and applying these forgotten strategies, you can experience a level of warmth that most contemporary campers just plain overlook. Whether you're aiming for historical authenticity or practical survival, this tent method is a powerful tool for enduring cold nights efficiently and effectively. So yeah, it's amazing how much wisdom you can find in the past. Sometimes the old ways really are the best ways when it comes to staying warm and comfortable outdoors. If you found this guide useful, make sure to subscribe and share with fellow history enthusiasts. These timeless strategies deserve to be remembered and applied, and sharing keeps the knowledge alive for every serious camper and history buff looking to master both the past and the present.